Let's continue with the demo. As you can see in this demo, we'll be going through a couple of functions that I want to make sure that you get the experience of how to write a function and what a trigger means that we spoke about. So in this case, as you can see here, this IoT hub trigger, for example, whatever it is, right? It is triggered from IoT hub. So likewise, we can have Cosmos trigger. So we will see Cosmos trigger in a bit. Yes, this is Cosmos trigger. So as you can see, this is Cosmos trigger. You need a database and collection. And once you have the trigger, this is nothing different than the delegate code you have seen. And as you have seen, right, this is the delegate code you're writing in the function. In this case, for each of the record that is, or for each of the event that has occurred, you are actually you're doing, an average in this case. Uh, and this is how you can write your logic, right? You can write as complex logic as you want in order for you to make such an action. So all the function code, you can use Visual Studio Code, of course, to develop functions. And once you develop your function, you can deploy your function to Azure. And once you are within Azure, let's see how this function code will appear. So let's go and refresh our screen right here. And in this screen, let's go to our resource group. And within the resource group, let's go to one of our functions. So our functions, in our case, okay, let me sort it by type. Okay, so IoT Cosmos DB processing is one of our functions. So let's go to our function. So within our function, I will show you how to see different items. So for example, in this function app, there are three functions that are running. As you saw, one is the trip processor that process the trip, and another one is send the events to the event hub so that it goes to Power BI based on the previous slide I have shown. We will actually summarize certain things in Azure Stream Analytics, and then it will be rendered in Power BI. And on another note, we will have actually a health check that can be done. And let's see the trip processor. So in the trip processor, we are reading the record, and you have seen the code for the trip processor, right? Where we were calculating different metrics, the code I have shown you a little while back. And in that function, this is the trigger, right? So this is what we were using here. So whatever we used here to refresh your memory. So this is the Cosmos DB trigger. That is this trigger. So let's see how this trigger looks like. As you can see here, this is a Cosmos DB trigger, right? So that means it is binding to Cosmos DB change feed, and we are binding to a document or to a collection called vehicle events. And this is the Cosmos DB connection I have provided, and this is the collection name and the database name and the leases. And create lease if it doesn't exist, right? So this is the leases container. And then within the trip processor, as you can see here, we made all this logic, right? And we ran this function. And now, see, this function comes with a rich set of monitoring tools that comes along with this function. And you can see the logs. As you can see, I did not run this function in like a little bit of time. But if you were to run, you got the point. You can see all of the various metrics within this function. So now this function, when it is deployed, right, we maintain, manage all the infrastructure that is needed, aka all the hosts for these three microservices to run. And these three microservices run. And let me actually point you and show you how a lease looks like. So we go and check. Let's go and check our Contoso Auto, and these are the leases. and let's go and see how a lease container looks like. So as you know, we have two functions, right? The one that sends to Event Hub and the one that actually do the calculations that I have shown you. Let's see the calculations I've done, and as you can see here, it is storing the information such as this. For example, it is saying this particular thing, actually there are partitions. It looks like probably it has two partitions, and for each partition, right, it is actually checkpointing, it is storing the continuation token, it is saying who is the owner for this, and so on and so forth, right? So just nothing fancy. This is exactly what we anticipated, right? So when it is working with Event Hub, likewise, right? This is that one, and it is doing the exact same thing again. So this is an example of why the lease container is needed and how we use the lease container, right, in near real time. So essentially what we did is we read the items from the telemetry. We performed all the calculations on that. And what we did is we have put our outputs within this metadata container where we calculated everything. So for example, just like entity type vehicle, we have another entity type called vehicle summaries. In that, we have put all the summaries so that our application can use that in near real time. So I hope the change feed, especially using with functions, made sense today. And please remember the delegate. Please remember the trigger. I think those two concepts will drive this message home, right? So also, let's actually talk a little bit about two very important items before we wrap our today's session. So in order for us to calculate the real-time trip status, right, you can actually, you have two options to calculate the real-time trip status. Recalculate the trip completion each time someone refreshes the web app, right? So the disadvantage of that is in near real time, you might have many people that will be refreshing, right? Let's say 10,000 different user sessions keep refreshing for the latest trip information. In that case, right, every time you want to recalculate something, it's going to be a problem. So some of the best practices I want to impart is build a materialized view. A materialized view is an excellent way of tackling or incorporating a logic somewhere which is materialized, so that when someone were to refresh, they actually hit the materialized view versus doing calculation every single time. Then that begs the next question: how do you build a materialized view? And by now you will guess the answer using the change feed, right? So that's how we actually build a materialized view. And instead of everyone reading the base Cosmos DB and doing their own calculation, we use a materialized view. And nevertheless, in this case, we calculate the completion status so that every user refreshes. Though this seems trivial to you, here is a sample calculation, right? That shows you what difference it makes. For example, when each time you are calculating the trip status, it's going to take 35 RUs, and there are like 10,000, right, operations per second, versus you create a materialized view and use 10,000 one RU 10,000 times, you are going to save in this case almost 330,000 RUs, right? So please remember, it's not trivial. It might seem trivial in terms of RUs when you see at a single operation level, but when that operation is done 10,000 times, it makes the 10,000 times it makes the difference. Okay. So with that, this is the right time we wrap today's session up. Just to make sure, today I have shown you a Visual Studio Code, how to use Visual Studio Code, and I have shown you the Cosmos DB extension. If you press Ctrl+Shift+P on your Visual Studio Code on my Mac, you can see all the things that you can do over there. And I did not show you Visual Studio 2017 and Cosmos DB emulator. That's for other day. I showed you Cosmos DB bindings. Then I showed you Azure Portal. I showed you Storage Explorer. And in next week or in next session, this is what we are going to do. We are going to see something called a Synapse link. We are going to see analytics in action that can be done on Cosmos DB. And also we will be seeing how to work with MongoDB, how to work with notebooks, right? How to develop with MongoDB, how to work with Cosmos DB notebooks. And also if time permits, I will show you how to do graph database processing, right? And from there, we will wrap our session up. So with that, I really appreciate you joining me today for second session of our Cosmos DB, and I look forward for our next session wherein we go through at greater detail of analytics and other APIs that are available for you within Cosmos DB. Thanks a lot.